Hello, how are you doing? Today we are doing more Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers side quests. Doing this quest chain. I think it was an Ethercurrent quest that I never finished a chain of, but here we go. It's time to continue digging for Rutabate. Rutabite. In case you were wondering, Rutab is another name for a ripe date, and the ore has a similar color and sheen to it. Of course, you'll be seeing it for yourself soon enough. I don't believe it, and I was so sure. There's only one other place I can think of, but I'd be a fool to go there alone. Found any good pebbles, or maybe a bit of cave moss? Piss off, I'm not in the bloody mood. Temper, temper. Perhaps the mines aren't the place for a mistel like you. Why don't you go and join the rest of your kind in Kalusia? You've embarrassed yourself enough as it is. What a bunch of pricks. It's the same bigoted nonsense day in, day out. Anyway, I'm sorry you had to see that. I've added to the back teeth with them. They're always harping on about how the best miners are all Ronso and how none of the other races can compete, particularly the Mistel. It probably has something to do with the fact that most of the Talos masters were Mistel, and the whole armoring fell into the doldrums after they left. Of course, only a half-wit would hold a grudge against an entire race because of the actions of a few individuals. I'm not prepared to just take it on the chin. When I make a killing from the root to bite I find, that'll wipe those smug grins off their faces. There's one more place I'd like to try. It'll probably be lousy with vicious creatures, but if that's what it takes, so be it. I could do with someone to watch my back while I'm digging, though, since you're so handily disposed of the last thing that tried to eat me. Perhaps you wouldn't mind coming along? Our cabin's full of flesh-eating carnivores. Count me in. If all goes according to plan, we won't be there for long. Fame and fortune, here I come. Alright, it's time to get to work. If you keep watch over there, I'll get with the digging. Well, that sounded like quite the tussle. Thank you for saving me from whatever manner of ghastly cave dweller that was. Best of all, I think I finally found what I've been looking for. It's a bit too dark in here to tell whether this is really root to bite, but it seems to be the right color. I'd best have an expert take a look at it, since I've never seen the real thing before. Until then, I'll try not to get my hopes up. There's not much point standing around here, so let's head back to Twine and get this ore looked at. Of course, it takes more than a glance with the naked eye to tell if it's rude to bite or not. There are all sorts of tests that need to be carried out. I'll go on ahead. It may take a while, so come and find me and Twine a little later on. Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is it's definitely rude to bite. The bad news is there are far too many impurities. I won't be making any nabathium from this. That much is certain. It's also highly unlikely that anything mined there will be of better quality. I'm sorry that I dragged you all the way into the mines for something so disappointing. This is hardly the historic moment I'd envisioned. I think it's time to accept that there is no vein of pure root to bite, that I'm chasing something that was never there to begin with. If the vein ever did exist, I accept someone else would have found it already. A better miner than me. What are you doing? Oh, you're trying to cheer me up. I suppose I shouldn't give up because of a small setback like this. Perhaps I need to rethink my approach. I'd have a much better chance of finding root to bite if I had a lead of some sort. But who should I ask? Huh. Yes, that might be worth a try. He's always treated me fairly, unlike most of the other Ronso around here. But I expect that he has the same opinion of Mistel as the rest of them. What author is the reason he spoke to me in the first place? Perhaps he's not so bad after all. But until now, I've always given him the cold shoulder, so I'll feel a bit of a fool asking for his help. I'll just have to swallow my pride. I can't give up on my dream because I'm too stubborn to seek advice. The trouble is, I don't have much of a rapport with him, so maybe you could speak with him first, just so that it's not completely out of the blue. Thanks. I think I see him over there now. Soon. Soon. After being treated like dirt by the other Ronso, I thought he'd be the same as the rest. I hope he proves me wrong. Ah, it's good to see the two of you getting along. What's that supposed to mean? It makes a change from seeing you moping around by yourself is all. Now what can I do for the pair of you? Rutabite, eh? It's been a while since I heard that word. I've never come across a vein myself, but I know of a place that might be worth a look. You do? Where? My grandsire once spoke of a mine where a disastrous cave-in occurred over 100 years ago. Ugh. There would probably have been an attempt to reopen it, were it not for the flood, and it ended up being abandoned. But if the stories I heard are true, there is a vein of Rutabite buried under all that rubble. That's quite the tale. I'm sure your Ronso brethren would be less than pleased with you imparting all this knowledge to a Mistel, though. Do you know why this town is called Twine? It comes from the idea of two tails entwined, one of the Ronso, the other of the Mistel. Quite a clever name, don't you think? Both races work together to build this place, though some of you younglings seem to have forgotten this. Kisat, as the last remaining Mistel in Twine, you have an important role to play in the future of this settlement. But first things first, you have a Rutabite vein to find. Go through the dragging tail and take the first left, but be warned, those tunnels are extremely dangerous, and there is a high risk of collapse. Thank you, Horther. If it's not too much to ask, I'd like you to watch my back again. I'll wait for you outside. His heart's in the right place, he just needs guidance. That was the first I heard of the Ronso and Mistel founding Twine together. Probably because I'd never bothered to learn more about our history. The whole time, I've been trying to outdo those Ronso louts, thinking I'd eventually find a Rutabite vein through sheer determination. Of course, mining's not that simple. Knowing where to dig is everything. Speaking of which, let's see where Horther's trail leads us. Nice. According to Horther, it's in the dragging tail, first left. Now's as good a time as any. Let's be off. This must be the place. The tunnels don't seem to be in such a bad state considering there was once a cave-in nearby. The odd selection of the mine is past those wooden boards, but it's fallen rubble now. If Orthor's story holds true, there should be a vein of Rutubite on the other side. Although I won't be attempting to reopen the tunnel all by myself. What I can do though is try cracking into a few of these rocks to see if they can contain Rutubite. I'll need you to keep an eye out for danger though. Thanks, hopefully it won't come to that. Anyway, I better get to work. There is no sign of danger. You had best continue to stand watch while Kisat goes about his work. There is still no sign of danger. Oh, did something try to attack us? Sorry, I was too engrossed in my digging to notice. But thanks to you, I was able to concentrate on the task at hand and even found something that might be root to bite. After the last time, I know better than to start jumping for joy until I've had someone look at it. I'll see you back in Twine. Here's good news and even better news. The good news is it's root to bite. The even better news is it's almost entirely free of impurities. Finally, I can start making my own Nabathium. What's this? Has a little Mistle actually found himself something worth a gill or two? At this rate, you might even be able to buy yourself a decent pickaxe instead of that rusty piece of scrap you insist on carrying around. For your information, I found a vein of Rutubite, which can be used to produce Nabathium. You found what? Not bad for a Mistle, eh? I'll admit, Yo and Arthur played no small part. Why would Arthur help you? Never you mind. The point is, this is just a sample of what's in the collapsed section of the dragging tail. But I'll not pretend I can clear out the tunnels by myself. If I'm to get anywhere, I'll need the help of other miners of Twine, and that includes you lot. Just like the days before the flood, Mistel and Ronso must work together, as our ancestors once did when they built their first settlement here. What do you say? Will you help me? So, you stumble across one lump of rutabaga and all of a sudden you're the god's gift to mining. Ah, if I thought you were spinning us a yarn, I'd have put you on your ass by now. But the fact that you'd ask us of all people for help means you must be serious. I am. Alright, we'll do things your way. Good. You'll soon see what we Mistal are capable of. Once once Twine starts producing its own Nabathium, we'll be making Gil and hand over fist. I can't believe this is happening. Yo, I wish there was more I could do to express my thanks. I'll make something of this town. You wait and see. Come on, you lot. The dragging tail. You heard him, lads. Yeah. Okay, yeah, this one is the ring, bracelet, necklace, earring, hook ear, hand ear. Gotta wait till I'm level 76 to open those, but hey, something. Have you spoken to Keysat lately? From what I hear, his work in the Dragging Tail is proceeding apace, but it seems he's run into a problem of sort. While I'd like to think he can handle whatever it is by himself, he might benefit from your advice. I can barely believe how much Keysat has changed. Finding that Rutabite was the spark that lit a fire in his belly. Ah, yo, how goes it? Problems, yes, you could say that. You see, work to excavate the collapsed tunnel is underway, and we're already digging up substantial amounts of Rutabite. Now I'm able to turn my attention to producing Nabathium, and it's tricky to say the least. Although I've made a few attempts, the alloy is always far too brittle. I thought I'd figure out the instructions on that old scroll, but there's one point that I still can't make sense of. It's too vague, you see, something about trusting your ears, not your eyes. My guess is that they deliberately made it impossible to understand, to avoid having people outside of Nabath the Ring from stealing their secrets. They probably relied on spoken word to pass the missing information from one generation to the next. Obviously, there's nobody from ancient Nabath around to ask, so I'll have to work it out myself by looking closely at real Nabathium. I need something large so that I can see how it differs from the ignorance I've made. The scavengers dig up a lot of trinkets and whatnot, but they're too small to be of any use. Not to mention expensive. Does anything spring to your mind? I know someone who is learning about the history of Nabath the Ring, and he's been taught by a descendant of Nabath royalty. What is his name? Gun Gun. I can't say I've ever met him, so I'd be grateful if you could introduce us. Much appreciated. I'll go through the Dragon Tail and meet you in Mork Soul. That's a taller building than I expected. Huh. That's what I was seeing before. Okay. That's a neat little trick. And until you can fly, you can't really get up there, so you can't get to the other half of the map because the aether currents are also on the other side of the map. That was a neat little trick. Godspeed good. Some shortcut that turned out to be. I damn near brained myself when I fell from that net. Oh well, onwards and upwards. Where's that gun fellow you mentioned? Roves around a lot, eh? In that case, I think we should ask his father where he might be. You said his name is Gen, right? Yes? I have to admit, I find these more names a little hard to remember. Perhaps they'd say the same about those of the Mistal. Who is this? A friend of yours is a friend of mine. Metal from old Nabath. Yes, Gungung and Gemma would be the best ones to ask, methinks. And perhaps you can help them in return. Hmm? With what? A problem, a predicament. You should still be by the North Windmill with the Gemma, talking about ancient history, no doubt. Ah, thank you. I look forward to meeting them. Help them, eh? I suppose we'll soon find out what they meant by that. Come on, let's go and see Gun Gun. The windmill is in the north of this soak. It is not the one in Our Lady's hands. I don't know what that means. Okay. So this must be Gungun, son of Gengen. I can certainly see the family resemblance. Greetings, yo. I hope this day finds you well. Ah, yo, what brings you to Morg Soap? Researching the Bathium. Lucky for me, yes. Lucky for Morg Soap, too. Yes, your father mentioned we might be able to assist you, though I don't have the foggiest clue how. He is referring to the windmill. It has been making a rather odd grating sound these past few days, though we have tried to rectify it with oils and such. We fear the problem may be far more deep-rooted. After a lot of searching in ruins, we found the construction plans made before the flood by the Nabath as a symbol of friendship. It was very interesting design too. Using that information, we narrowed down the cause of the grating to the central axle, which is made from Nabathium. I never realized it could be used in something of this scale. Come to think of it, its resistance to friction makes it an ideal choice for moving parts like this. But even Nabathium has its limits. This windmill has been turning for over 100 years, and as far as we can tell, this is the original axle. Never been changed. So you want to replace it, but lack the means to produce the alloy. Exactly. Since you are looking for large pieces of Nabathium, perhaps you would like to inspect the windmill. Absolutely. Best to see it from inside. Follow me. Answer your questions, did it? I never noticed it before, but genuine Nabathium has more of a blue tinge than any of the trial ignots I've produced. That probably means the ratios listed on the scrolls are false. Trust your ears, not your eyes. In other words, that was a diversion, and the true amounts were communicated verbally. Since there's no one around to tell me, I'll have to experiment with varying amounts. Maybe I should use less rutabyte and more tin. It will take a lot of trial and error, but now that I have something to compare it to, I'll soon work it out. And once you have, we will finally be able to fit the windmill with a new axle. Why stop there? Nabathium has the potential to attract merchants from across Norvent. After all, selling their alloy is one of the ways Nabathiam became so wealthy, so powerful. I can already smell the jinglies. I like the sound of that, though truth be told, I'll be content to have played my part in bringing Nabathium to the people of Amorag. Still, a few extra gil in my pocket wouldn't hurt. Do not forget, there is still much work to be done, and the windmill comes first, yes? Of course, but before we get too carried away, I must thank Yo for introducing us. Yes, I too am very grateful. It is good to know that people outside of Mortsoak share our interest in the Batharang. In time, I'm sure the bond between Twine and Mortsoak will grow even stronger. Yes, and making the route between the two less perilous would be another worthwhile project. I'll have my hands full trying to reproduce Nabathium for the time being, though. Oh, if you're passing through Twine, would you mind letting Arthur know how things went? Many thanks, Yo. Until next time. You've been gone a while. How did it go with Kisat? He's making quite the name for himself. If it ever finds its way into the history books, yours will be right there beside it. Though your path may lead you far from Twine, we will always remember you as one who made a difference in this little mining town. One day, I'd like to reopen the Miners Guild. Trouble is, most of the workers see mining as a means to an end, and have no desire to master the finer points. I'll be real, I don't even remember how I got these. Okay, that's it for this map. Don't pay attention to that quest. It has no instructions. One day I'll do a stream or a recording where I do all the quests that I didn't do because they didn't have a guide, like they were guideless. But not today. I love the haptic feedback for this game. Gives you a little thump every time you take a step. It's even a little crunchy when you walk. When walking into a wall. It's very cool. Anyway. My letters scattered by the winds. Whose idea was it to build a city with so many breezy walkways? No. In this too, I have no one to blame but myself. They are important to me though, so might I ask you to search for them? There are 3 all told. They likely came to rest in the derelicts, as these things tend to. No, I won't just eat them already. Sure, they're useless, what with not being able to lay eggs and all, but we're friends now. There you are. Ah, there you are. Did you have any luck? Oh, looks like somebody else doing the same quest. You found all three. Wonderful. I cannot properly express how difficult it would have been for me to rewrite them. Wait, now I've had a good look at you. Are you perchance one of those responsible for freeing us from Valkyrie's influence? I thought as much. You have my thanks for opening my eyes. I used to reside in the Crystarium, you know, but the moment that I saw for myself what happens when the Eaters take a person, I truly understood for the first time that our world teeters on the brink of destruction. I was terrified. Here, cat, you wanna go out? I knew I could do nothing to change my fate, so I came to Yerma hoping to forget Instead, abandoned my work, my family, everything, and I felt no guilt for it, convinced as I was that nothing mattered. Now, though the scales have fallen from my eyes, I've always been a coward. What I did was a betrayal of the highest order, and I know there's no going back. If nothing else, however, I can apologize for what I've done. So I labored over these letters, hoping to convey my contrition. I don't expect forgiveness, but I hope it might mean something, at least to those I left behind. I cannot alter what has been done, but I can change myself. Try to be better, and you will always have my gratitude for giving me the ability to see that. You and your elven friend both. Thank you. To tell you the truth, I don't know where to go from here. How to be better than I have been, and that scares me, but I won't run, not this time. Forgot about this place. Pardon me for saying so, man, but you have something of a different air about you than our usual clientele. Are you the bold and daring sort, perhaps? Wonderful. I require someone willing to undertake a dangerous mission. You understand. To venture to, the derelicts. Word has reached me that our most popular honeybee, Selena, was spotted there of late. Both patrons and staff have had difficulty coping with the recent revelations, but Selena must have taken it harder than most. She hasn't returned to the beehive since. If you have the stomach for the task, I implore you, bring her back. Oh, excuse me, bring her back. I was actually right. She was on the ship. The Queen Bee is worried on my behalf. Oh dear. I'm sorry, but I cannot return with you. My beloved, you see, he was caught up in the chaos and, I don't know, people saw him fall. It was right here that it happened, they told me. You must understand, if there's any chance that the sea didn't take him, that he swam ashore somewhere or caught onto a piece of debris and hasn't found his way back yet, I need to keep looking, please. I can't go back now. I simply can't. Please apologize on my behalf. Wow, they really need to update that texture. Okay. Standing atop a sunken ship, hoping for her beloved's return. How poetic. Indeed, sufficiently poetic that I am more concerned than ever she may do something rash. Very well, I will attend to her myself, though I would feel much reassured for your presence, if you would be so kind as to accompany me. That's cool, it tells you the previous location and your current location. That's useful. Yeah, I've been there. No matter how many times you ask, my answer won't change. Selena, please, you must heed my words. It's not safe for you here. I don't care. What's the point of me being safe if he's not? There is a great deal of meaning in your being hale and whole, as I am sure your sweetheart would agree. But if you will not believe that, consider this. Your chances of finding him would be significantly increased were you to ask for help. Allow me to demonstrate. Oh, you dick. My goddamn madame. My good madame. You have proven yourself fearless thus far. Might I impose upon you to assist in the search? I will personally ensure that you are rewarded for your efforts. Oh, I don't think, I mean, everyone else told me to give up. Thank you. Of course, my earlier statement was not merely referring to your physical well-being. I will leave the search to you and your stalwart friend here, but do return to the beehive once you have located your beloved. I think you will find that your absence has been felt most keenly. Oh, I just realized what time it was. Okay. Okay. Finally joined an FC. Anyway, I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for watching. I guess I'm Yos on the 7th now. Yeah. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.